Hello, I'm Susan Rigler. I'm the author of The Complete Guide to the Kentucky State Parks. I was extremely happy when Laura Sutton at the University Press of Kentucky contacted me a couple of years ago and said, the press would really like to publish a new, updated guide to the state parks, and would you be interested in writing it? I said, absolutely, on one condition, and that's if I could have Pam Spaulding do the photos. And Laura was great. She said, of course, we know Pam's work, we love it, and I said, well, then let's do it. That would be terrific. She had seen a copy of a book that I did for Fodor's Travel on Kentucky, the Compass American Guide to Kentucky, and she had me in the back of her mind for this project, and I was really pleased and honored that she came to me, and it was a tremendous project. Really, really enjoyed working on it. It was just great. So many unexpected things happened in the reporting, researching for this book, and the marvelous part was that Pam Spaulding, the photographer for the guide, the two of us traveled together almost all the time when we were working on the book. So we would scout out locations for photos or come across, have very unexpected experiences. In fact, you would think shooting people on a golf course would be a fairly routine thing, trying to line up a lovely photo and get the mountains and water in the background in an eastern Kentucky park. And while Pam was lining up the shot and asking the golfers to do various things, I noticed a turkey over in the grass off of the fairway. And out came this tom turkey in all of his glory, all puffed up, obviously strutting his stuff, out onto the fairway, oblivious to the golfers. And just a moment later, here came the hen rushing out of the same tall grass and started running around the tom. And there was this tremendous, it was the courtship behavior of these wild turkeys. So Pam and I jumped in a golf cart and zipped down this fairway. It was eastern Kentucky, again, very hilly, very, very mountainous. And just got right up next to these turkeys where she started shooting, leaning over me in the golf cart, shooting turkeys in this entire courtship and mating ritual. And there is a picture of it in the book, sort of a PG-rated picture of it in the book, however. We almost respected the turkey's privacy. Oh, well, I was very, very fortunate in having Pam with me to work on the book because she and I had worked on a lot of assignments together at the Courier-Journal. In fact, her great dream, besides photojournalism, of course, was to be a wildlife photographer. And so we worked together on assignments like the gorillas at the Chicago Zoo and going out to do travel stories about natural features of Kentucky. And it's very possible when we're driving along, I usually do the driving because she's scouting out photo opportunities. And if Pam yells, stop, I know there's something interesting by the side of the road, so I'm very well trained on that. And we just enjoy working together. We've known each other for, 15 or more years, and just get along and enjoy being out and about in Kentucky and working on interesting stories like that. There were a lot of unexpected, exciting moments. You think, oh, state parks, and I think the word park implies something sort of tame and manicured, and of course that's not what the state parks are necessarily about at all. Just a half a day's drive from Louisville, less than that of course from Lexington, you are in the mountains where you might have to brake for a black bear that's sitting in the middle of the road, and it's pretty impressive to come across a wild animal like that you know you do not want to get out of your car. Nice to meet them as long as you're in that. Or western Kentucky, down near Land Between the Lakes. Of course, the parks down there, such as Ken Lake or Lake Barkley. If you're staying at one of those parks, you can also go to the Land Between the Lakes Elk and Bison Prairie, which is just a few minutes drive. And it is like going on safari in Kentucky. The best time is to get there at dawn. You have to go through a gate that opens when there's an electric eye that sees your car, across a cattle grate, because inside this elk and bison prairie are herds of elk and bison roaming. And it was not uncommon. There's a picture of me that Pam got. She was sitting in the back seat of the car. We managed to push all the seats up, so she had kind of a big photographer's nest in the back seat, and so she could get to either side. And coming around, I'm going very, very slowly, and this herd of bison surrounds the car. So she has a picture of me looking a little concerned in the rearview mirror as this very, very large, shaggy animal, as large as my Honda, is licking the front of my car. So if you haven't had your car licked by a bison, you haven't lived. Well, there are a few things, and I think a memorable one is, insider information. I don't play golf, but going around to the golf courses in the Kentucky state parks would almost inspire me to take it up, because it's not just like golfing on your regular country club golf course. I mentioned the mating turkeys they were at Dale Hollow in eastern Kentucky. Also in eastern Kentucky, if you're at, I believe it's Pine Mountain, some of the insider information is you want to tee off well before you're going to be golfing in the evening, because toward the end of the course, right around sunset, is when the bears start to come out. So you definitely want to be finished playing before the bears come out to play. And then in western Kentucky, at Mineral Mound State Park, we found out that there's a family of red fox that live by the golf course, and they will run out and steal your golf balls. They think golf balls are their personal toys. And they will come up to the clubhouse in the morning when they smell coffee and hang out and look expectantly and hope somebody tosses them a golf ball. And Pam got a wonderful picture of a golfer with a fox for the book. I think some sites that Daniel Boone would find familiar may very well still be around in 50 years because of efforts such as the Elk Restoration Project in eastern Kentucky, the fact that the bears are moving back in on their own. There are, of course, a lot of unfamiliar sites. There were absolutely no lakes in Kentucky when Boone arrived here. Kentucky had lots and lots of running water, streams, rivers, but it's the sort of those busy beavers of the Army Corps of Engineers who have made all of our lakes. So Boone would be surprised by those, but I think some of the woodlands, the forests, and certainly the national forest that bears his name, there would be familiar sites, and he'd still run across an occasional herd of bison, so that would, even though they'd be fenced, they'd look familiar. I sincerely hope that Kentucky, its government officials, its taxpayers who provide the funding, will see what a truly, truly remarkable resource the parks are, because they capture not only the history of the Commonwealth from Boone to Constitution Square to, well, even before Boone, the prehistory of Kentucky, just remarkable and rich heritage, as well as the amazing natural heritage of this state. We are in a region of North America where we have several different kinds of ecosystems that come together, and so we're very, very rich in our flora and fauna. And it just seems to be that's very important for that to be preserved, I think.